Hello, sisters. Welcome to the Sacred Medicine Podcast, weaving powerful, soulful practices into functional medicine. Step into this beautiful space of devotion and explore everything from nurturing foods, rituals, sexuality, and awakening your innate sensuality. It is time to own your radiance. This is the Sacred Medicine Podcast. You are listening to the Sacred Medicine Podcast, and this week we are talking all about how to prepare ourselves for the quote-unquote second wave of COVID-19. So, let's get started. I know that I have brought this up several times, but I want to talk about it now because we are coming up on flu season. And they are predicting a very bad flu season, a very bad COVID season. So before I go into all of the things that I believe, and it's also been in the recent research studies, I want to just tell you that my opinion about the COVID-19 and if it's going to get worse. I think what's going to happen this winter is not necessarily more episodes of COVID or positive COVID tests. I think that because we already get an enormous number of flu positive tests from anywhere from like October through January-ish, happens to be sort of the worst time. And in the past few years, working at the urgent care, we've definitely seen a large number of positive flu cases and lots and lots of deaths that come along with that. That's just a known for as long as I can remember. So I think what's going to happen this year is not only will there be the usual number of flu cases, but because flu and COVID symptoms are overlapping, people are just going to be coming in droves to the urgent care to be tested, rightfully so, for the flu and for COVID. So I think that's where we're going to see the largest numbers, not necessarily deaths, but listen. Today's episode is all about how do you even protect yourself to begin with. I want you this fall and winter and beyond, starting now, to just boost your immunity, get it strong so that you won't catch any little, because people are going to, everyone gets sick typically, during these cold months. And it could be sneezing, coughing, runny nose, and, hopefully, well, I'm sure a lot of you are also working from home. So you're not really going into the office and being surrounded by people who are sick, which is a blessing in disguise. But today's talk is just all about, listen, few supplements, find them out there. I'm also going to have a link to where else you can get them, the place where I get my supplements, professional grade. But you can start on these now. Start on them today through until like the summer of next year, because I feel like, and a lot of these things I take all year long. It's not just around the winter time, because I work at urgent care and I'm exposed to COVID every single day. So I think that these are really important to take on a regular basis. Okay, so let's start with number one, zinc. Okay, zinc has so many great, first of all, everything I'm going to be talking about today it's not just, one, boost immunity, that's it. It is involved in so many intricate pathways of your body, so many, for your cells, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just for one. It doesn't just have one function. It has many. So when I say this, I don't mean like, okay, well, winter's over, so I can stop all of these. Well, maybe not necessarily. I mean, I take zinc all year long. I take vitamin D all year long. So I take a lot of these things all year, but it's also because of my profession as well. And because I'm surrounded by probably more sick people than the average person on a regular basis. Okay, so zinc. As we know, yes, it boosts immunity. That is the prime function that we want to have you prepare for this upcoming season. The season that's actually already here. By the time this podcast came out, we're in the season of flu. This is when it sort of starts coming around. I have already seen lots of body aches, fevers. I have yet to see a positive flu case just yet, but people are starting to come in. They're starting to have these symptoms. So what dose do you want to start at with zinc? I think we should start at 30 milligrams. There's really an array of doses. And with zinc, you know what? Take it with food. Just take it with a meal, just to prevent any sort of nausea. I take 30 milligrams a day, and it doesn't cause any nausea for me whatsoever. But I usually take it with a meal, after my breakfast or something like that. So 30 milligrams once a day. Next, vitamin D3. Super important. Especially for those of you who may have autoimmune conditions, you want to be able to you should already be on vitamin D3, by the way. Anyone that's listening to this that has autoimmune condition, yes, and your levels need to be up there between 60 and 80 when you get your results back. If it's not there, you need to boost how much you're actually taking. So I am recommending, because of this upcoming flu COVID season, 5,000 IUs per day. Now I'm saying that because I'm sure the majority of conventional medicine docs would be like, oh my God, that's too much. It's not too much for this season coming up. Now, should you get your vitamin D3 checked beforehand? Yes. The majority of you are deficient. Trust me, you're probably I hope you're not in the teens, but a lot of people are in the teens. Once we get the lab work back in the teens, they're in the 20s. Okay, that's super deficient. I don't even want anybody to be in the 30s and 40s. Honestly, I know it's within normal range. When you look at the reference range, oh, look, it's 30. I'm in the normal reference range. I should be good. I'm good, No. You want to, let's say optimal, okay, for someone that doesn't have autoimmune condition, let's just make it 50. Your vitamin D3, which is actually, if you get blood work done, it's called 25 hydroxy vitamin D. Okay. You need it to be around 50 at least. That's a nice, robust number. For autoimmune people out there, you want it to be a good 70 or 80, like super robust. Okay, so I take 5,000. I had my blood work done. I take 5,000 every single day. My blood work came back and I think I was like 50. And I'm like, oh, that's too low. And I was on 5,000. So I know people metabolize things very differently, but it is important to take it before to see how deficient you are. And then in a few months, repeat it. Okay, next one is vitamin C. Now, not any old vitamin C is good. I really need for you to be on ascorbic acid vitamin C. That is the best kind. And obviously we know that vitamin C also helps boost immunity. It's used in so many different things for your body, but I want you to start at 1,000 mgs, 1,000 milligrams per day. If you have an issue with vitamin C or at that dose it causes diarrhea, though it shouldn't, diarrhea can cause sometimes loose stools in pretty high doses, like very high doses. You shouldn't see it in 1,000 milligrams. But in case you're sensitive, if you're starting to get, some soft stools, then I would say cut it down to maybe 500 a day. But typically around this time, you really want to prep yourself. You want to boost up that nice vitamin C in your body, right? Okay, next thing is probiotics. Listen, your immune system is housed in your gut. And if your gut is off, if it's not in balance, your immune system's not functioning at 100%. So I love Claire Labs for their probiotics. I really do. I think that they're an amazing brand. So, and at the end, I'm going to give you a link where you can buy all of these. And I'm also going to give a list of supplements that you need, as well as the dosages. Okay, the other one is glutathione. Now, the studies show that N-acetylcysteine, NAC, which is a precursor to glutathione, is what would be good. But why don't we just give you the glutathione? Why give you the precursor? Is my thoughts. So I take glutathione liposomal, and it's a liquid that you squirt underneath your tongue. You hold it there for at least a good minute and then swallow it. Now, the best form of glutathione that is 100% absorbed is through IV. And I have said this so many times that IV glutathione is superior among everything else. But if you do not have access to IV clinics, IV vitamin clinics, then liposomal glutathione will be maybe not 100% sufficient. You can't compare it. They're not, you can't compare it 1-to-1. The liposomal glutathione, though, will be helpful if you cannot get IV. So that is the kind that I use when I don't get an IV. Okay. Now those are the supplements. Now one other thing, probiotics for children has been shown to decrease respiratory infections. So I'm just saying there's a few different, I'm going to put that in the show notes. There's a few different, one is Flor, Flor. They do probiotics for kids. And there's one, I think they're still making this, and they put the probiotic inside a straw. And so when the child is drinking from the straw, they're getting the probiotic in. It's really a neat way to have kids get their probiotics in. Okay. Now, I know that all of you know this already, okay? But let me just give you a couple of tips on other things that help to boost your immunity. And I know you're probably going to say, yeah, I know all this, but a lot of you may know it, but you're not really practicing it. So one is sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting into your REM sleep, into your deep sleep? Or are you waking up every hour or two to pee? You wake up because you're just feeling sort of restless or you're hot. And if it's a restless thing or an anxiety thing, then maybe talk to your primary about that. Or that's a whole other major discussion about anxiety. But we really need for you to be sleeping 7 hours. 8 would be golden. 8 hours is golden. Now, okay, so we've got the sleep. And I know that melatonin helps as well, for sure, melatonin. And I think that is, if you're hearing anything in the background, it's my dishwasher. So I apologize for the gurgling noises back there. Okay, so the other thing is food. How are you eating? Okay. Food is medicine. You've heard that before. Everyone knows about that. And I especially believe that food is medicine. So can we all just decrease the amount of fast foods that you're eating? Coke that you're consuming, like sodas and things with high sugar. And if you're going to tell me, well, it doesn't have sugar, it's like sugar free, it's diet, it doesn't have sugar, it has no calories, it's still the worst thing for you to consume. So it's not a health benefit. Soda is not contributing to your health bank. Think of your health as a bank. And every time you eat vegetables and salads and fruit, you're sort of adding to your bank. What fast foods and sodas and, fructose corn syrup does is that it withdraws from your health bank every day. And then you get so depleted because you don't have enough nutrients for your body. Your immune system cannot be supported with a diet like that. So let's watch how much fried foods you're eating, how much fast foods you kind of quickly turn to. Spend a little bit more time trying to think, if you do cook at home, maybe setting up a plan, like maybe a calendar of like, okay, these are the few meals I'm going to be making this week. So then you go to the supermarket and you're prepared rather than getting home, you're starving, there's nothing there. It's really all about pre-planning, and that helps so much. And when you do cook a lot, so it lasts you and you have, a couple of maybe days of leftovers. So when you come home, you have leftovers, or use leftovers for lunch the next day. So you're not, reaching for any fast foods. Okay. So we talked about sleep. We talked about how good you're eating. Okay. Also, and I sort of touched upon this a little bit, let's decrease how much sugar you're consuming. I mean, did you know that when you consume sugar, whether it's even something, okay, I'm going to tell you something that most people think is super, super healthy, but it actually is not that great for you. You can go into these, and sometimes they're making at home, or sometimes they're going to like these juice places and they're getting first thing in the morning, they're getting all of these fruits and blended together with, I don't even know. What do you blend it with? Milk, which is so mucus producing. And so I can't even think about sipping a glass of milk. I can't remember the last time I ever did. I just won't. So, because it's loaded with hormones and all kinds of things. And, I just don't touch the stuff, and neither should you, actually. So let's go back to the minute you consume sugar. Oh, no, I was talking about the blended shake. Okay. Or people are like, oh, I made this shake and it had everything, all these fruits and oranges, bananas, and strawberries, and I put in some milk in there and I blended it, and that's good, right? I mean, I'm having a fruit shake in the morning or in the afternoon. And this is the problem with that. The problem with that is that it's all sugar. And I know that you're saying, but it's healthy sugar. It's sugar from fruit, which is true. But drinking that, do you understand how many milligrams or grams of sugar you're consuming, and how much your pancreas is secreting insulin in order to convert all of that sugar? And if you're doing that day in and day out and day in and day out, you're going to become insulin resistant. You're going to be like, I don't know why I'm gaining so much weight. I mean, I'm having all this healthy stuff. I'm having all this fruit in the morning or in the afternoon. I go and this is what I'm having for lunch. No, it's not good. Let me tell you how to consume fruit. Not 2 pounds of it in a shake. You can't, because it's too much sugar for your body. And I know it's natural sugar. It's still sugar. So I'm going to, okay, look, you want to do a healthy shake? Then you're going to do a green juice. And it's got to be organic, whether you're doing it from home or you're going to like a green juicing place. And the only sweet thing you're going to have in there is maybe 1 apple. Okay. You're not going to be putting in like 3 bananas. Oh yeah. That's the other thing. People put in like 1 million bananas into a blender with fruit. And then I don't know, milk. I've never made this before. So I don't know what people mix this with. Water. I don't know. Orange juice. I really don't know, but it just sounds like diabetes in a bottle. I mean, seriously, no, please stop doing that. This is what you need to do. If you want to juice, if you're going to juice, you're going to do it the right way, which means green juicing in the morning. What does that consist of? Celery, maybe 1 apple, carrots, You can put in kale, cucumbers. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. And drink that first thing in the morning. Okay. Nothing in your stomach. And then you're going to follow it up with water or lemon water or something like that. All right. It's going to continue to help detox your liver. Okay. I'm getting off topic totally, but I need to clarify this. It's such a misnomer. Like okay. Fruit shakes are not good for you. Okay. Because it's going to increase your insulin. Okay. And you're going to say, well, though my sugar is normal. I went to my doctor and it's normal and everything. Okay. But your doctor's probably not checking your insulin levels, which is the first thing to go up before it even shows up in the glucose levels. Trust me on this one. Okay. And how are you going to eat fruit? This is how you're going to eat fruit. You're going to have like maybe a handful of berries, organic, please. Or you're going to cut up an apple, or maybe you're going to have like a banana with your morning hot cereal or something like that. Okay, fine. I love it if you can pair it up with like a protein, something like that. Or if you're going to make, if you're going to make a shake and you're like, well, I'm used to drinking shakes in the morning. And so this is what I do. Okay. I haven't done this in a long time, but this is what I used to do. Almond milk. I have collagen protein powder. Okay. Even regular protein powder. I don't do whey. I don't do eggs. I do occasional pea, but even that, it just doesn't taste good to me. And it just, I don't know. It didn't sit with me right. So collagen protein is great if it fits with me well. So what I'll do is almond milk, collagen protein, some organic blueberries, like maybe a handful, maybe half a cup to a cup max. What else do I put in there? Maybe a dollop of almond butter. That's it. That's all. I don't put anything else. Banana? No, I'd rather eat the banana, honestly. I don't just put in like 2 or 3 bananas. No, that's also increasing your insulin levels. Okay. Go back on topic. So sugar, that's basically my talk about sugar. Please, with the sodas, with the 35 grams of sugar in a can. I mean, that's insane. It's insane. You want to lose weight? You know how many grams of sugar you need to consume? And you need to consume no more than 15 grams of sugar per day. Guess what? 1 can of soda is 35 grams right there. And then you go home, maybe you have some bread or a sandwich. All those things add up. All those grams of sugar. There's sugar in dressing for your salad. I mean, I don't know why. Why is there sugar in dressing? I just make my dressing at home. I don't put sugar in it. I will now, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put maybe a couple of drops of honey just because I love honey. I just feel like it's so nourishing, but I don't have tablespoons per day. I mean, everything in moderation, people. Okay. So that's it. Sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. Try to get into deep REM sleep, which means solid. You want some solid hours, not waking up. If you're waking up every couple of hours, try some melatonin. I try anywhere between start at 1, just to make sure you're not going to get groggy, and you can, go up from there. Sleep, eating really well, staying away from sugar. And then the supplements. What else? That's it. I mean, this is where I want you to start here. I want you to start here because we've got a long winter ahead of us. You want to start now. You don't want to start when your coworker is starting to sneeze and they have a fever and they have to go home. No, you're not going to start then. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared now because the news is going to start scaring you about the flu and that the COVID numbers going up and everything. So look, I want to prepare your body. Prepare your body. So then you're not so fearful. You're like, look, I got this. I'm sleeping. I got my zinc today. I got my vitamin C on. I got my vitamin D. I'm good. You know, it will, trust me, this works. Okay. So I'm going to have everything in the show notes for you. And so you have a reference as to how much you need to be taking. And I'm also going to give you the proper name of the vitamin D3 so then you can ask your doctor when you're there next to draw your levels and see where you're at. Okay? So that's it for this week. I hope you learned something. I'm rooting for you. Watch that sugar. Oh, this was the other thing I was going to mention about sugar. Did you know that the minute you consume it, like, oh, I need like a Snickers bar at like 3:00. I need a little sugar. I need to wake up. I'm at work. That's a big no-no. But the minute you consume something like that, I think it's like for the next hour or two, your immune system drops and you're completely exposed to whoever's around you that's coughing, whoever's around you that walks by you, that has COVID, that has fever, that may have the flu. Okay, you are exposed as if you were naked out there in the tundra. Okay, what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? This is what sugar does to your body. And every day, if you're consuming sugar, that's what it's doing. Your immune system drops. It's dropping. And you cannot afford that. You know what I mean? You can't. So watch that sugar intake and no more of these fruit smoothies without any greens in it. If you're going to do a fruit, you're going to do one fruit and then the rest of it's going to be vegetables. Okay? All right. Until next week, thank you so much for listening. I wish you the best health. I want to keep you healthy this season. And thank you wherever you are in the world. I hope that you are safe and you are happy and you are healthy. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all of you. Much love. Bye for now.